someone who's been bullied. Maybe you've even tried to check a bully. Either way, bullies have a way of wreaking havoc in really painful ways. Studies show young people exposed to cyberbullying are at a 50% higher risk of having suicidal thoughts than their peers. My first guest today is a social media influencer who understands the full weight of bullying online. Briana Hampton has a combined following of more than 5 million followers. Sounds cool, right? But she says that following also comes with a steady dose of cyber harassment. She says at one point she was so depressed from the comments on her social media platforms, she was tempted to take her own life. Fortunately, though, she pushed through and found a way to cope. Please welcome Briana Hampton to the show.
Hi.
Hello, beautiful. It is good to have you here.
Thank you.
And thank you for turning your experience into an opportunity to share and inform others.
Right, thank you.
Let's talk about your experiences, because this is something that have been dealing with as an adult.
Right.
This isn't the typical classroom playground.
Right.
Tell me about your experience.
So basically, when you're in the limelight, I feel like everything is judgmental. I feel like anything you do has to be perfection. So when I got out of a relationship, you know, when you're in the public eye, people tend to choose sides. So when you break up, everybody's like, oh, wow, I ain't never like her anyway, so let's go ahead and say it, or whatever it may be. But it just intensifies, and then it came all the way down to now my children are being bullied online just because they don't like me.
So how do you help your children with that? Because that's the suspicion. We won't go into the details of your children's age, but they're young and young enough and old enough for them to understand what's happening. What do you say? How do you help them?
Well, I had to take them off social media for a while, and then I sat them down on the couch and just explained to them that hurt people, and sometimes people project their hurt onto others. So it's nothing to do with them. They just don't like mommy, and right now you're the target because they need to figure out how to get to mommy. So anything that's attached to me, they're going to figure out to attach. It don't matter who it is, whoever that I love, they're going to attack it. So I just sat down my kids and let them know that you're not the reason, you're innocent. I am the reason, but you're gonna be okay. I love you and I adore you, and you're amazing.
I have to imagine that hurt. Just from mother to mother. How did you personally deal with that? How are you coping with that?
The limelight can be good and it can be bad, but I feel like innocent children should be left out of it. And at this age, you would think that it's children that's doing it, but it's actually grown adults that are old enough to be my children's grandparents. So it's truly sad. It hurts me a lot because my youngest son used to deal with the bullying with being dark skinned. So now they're having to be bullied just because their mom is popular. So it hurts. I'm still working through it. I'm doing therapy and doing what I need to do to get better every day.
To adults and children who bully, sometimes we know that there is a root of their own, their own trauma, and sometimes it's just being mean, and sometimes it's just being spiteful. What would you say to people to help them understand, maybe it's the parents of bullies or the bullies themselves, to help them understand the impact that this has on adults and children?
I feel that we are all human. We all go through things, and in spite of not liking anyone, and in spite of your own true feelings on what you may be going through, sometimes you just need to look in the mirror and seek healing for whatever trigger and traumas that you may be going through, because that's the only hurt people. So if you seek healing, then you won't have to hurt anybody because you'll be healing whole.
Was there a point when you said, you know what, I'm done with social media, which is hard because that's so much a part of the work you do, and clothing and boutique, and how did you reconcile the decision to stay strong and protect yourself as much as possible?
I had to learn to detach. from the comments, detach from opinions, detach from things that serve me no good. So I try to stay away from negative stuff, so I hired moderators to go in and delete negativity and block people, and that's what made me stay on. I'm like, okay, I don't have to deal with that part, so that's the easiest. So yeah, and then women DM me and say, because of your strength, of you still showing up and smiling, and I still see you doing videos, I didn't commit suicide either. So I'm proud of myself to continue to show strength and grace and continue to show up for me.
And I'm proud of you as well. And I know so many people who you may have never even met are proud and grateful for the testimony that comes from deciding to just push through this kind of hurt and this kind of pain. But I know that it was more than a notion. So I thank you for even sharing it here in this space in such a candid and intimate way.
Thank you.
And the advocacy is so important. So I thank you for pushing through and encouraging others.